Hello YouTubbies and welcome to episode 4 of Game Idea Talk. So far I came up with over 30 ideas, which is why I intend to bring up 2 ideas per week from now on, doubling the rate of interesting game ideas you may wish to think about and publishers should consider to actually develop. Today I present to you a game I call The Pharaoh's Duty. The idea of this game is the following: you are the Pharaoh of Egypt. Well, if you believe it means waiting for slaves to bring cocktails, you failed the concept, because indeed you work very hard in this game. Doing what, you ask? Well, you have the duty to lead your people to wealth, success, survival and acknowledgement by your gods, of course. Genre-wise, the game is actually a mixture of strategy and simulation. It tries to combine standard strategy patterns like hunting resources, developing technology, building your own base and occasionally fighting off enemies. Yet, it also is intended to be for simulation fans which expect a certain amount of realism. The fact that it's entirely about the ancient Egypt civilizations adds a very special flavor to it. The game itself is not based on any certain game, however games like Caesar 3, Age of Empires and even Command & Conquer may have influenced it. Also of course games like Ankh, developed by the German team called XZane, or the concepts of Black and White and Goddess by Peter Molyneux have an impact on this. And to a very small degree the idea of Yu-Gi-Oh! And its Egypt setting may have brought this up too. All of the above mentioned games have certain key features that could be combined and brought into a game that is most suitably for people that would like a hands-on approach on building a civilization to strength and let it prosper, but also enjoy the process of reaching that level in a fairly nice to watch ambience. A little bit of the Egypt pantheon and its gods adds a certain spice. Naturally, as it was in history, a little but mentionable amount of rivals from the borders like in Caesar should be part of this game. New is the approach I took from games like Tropico, as you now don't just build your civilization from the scratch in bird-eyes perspective, but now also through the eyes of the pharaoh you play yourself majorly, somewhat reminding you of the game Fable perhaps. Interestingly enough, in The Pharaoh's Duty you indeed must walk around your kingdom, a 3D area by the way, and look for the most urgent tasks to order, because labor is rare and the kingdom needs to be built everywhere. Farms for nutrition, guards to defend your borders or schools for education are just some features. You order your people to build something which opens a new interface for you to determine exactly how and which way you build through templates. Templates you need to unlock by research, for as a population that can't read or write won't bring up architects or professional merchants. And you do want these goods from other countries to build a huge palace for yourself, don't you? I mean, at the end you are the pharaoh. The Pharaoh's Duty works fairly simple, as you have your animated 3D pharaoh that you walk in first or third person through your kingdom. You find places to dig resources or build houses very often. As soon as you open a build mode, the game switches to bird's eye perspective and offers you the functions of a classic economy simulation. You need to research new technology, watch your borders and of course make your own little kingdom, which actually just turns out to be one big town, but as nice and beautiful as you like. The clue? You may open a palace for a god. Depending on which god you sacrifice resources to, you may get help during a battle, find more resources in mines, or even receive more babies. A little gag I take from Seven Kingdoms 2 The Frightened Wars, of course. As for who should build it, I make it fairly simple today. A cooperation of Dex 13 with Kalypso and Peter Molyneux. Could be an interesting mix, right? What is left to say or ask? Well, the game is a fairly low-paced simulation for all fans of the ancient Egypt. It is tougher than a Sims Egypt game and easier than Caesar maybe, but it has a 3D world to explore and build up in, nice marketplaces, temples and your own pyramid fate for you. If you as Pharaoh take the duty and matter in your own hands. And let's face it, we all want to build our own pyramid in such a game. Your take-home message of today? Think about if you would like to play such a game. Add in the comments below what you would add or change to the concept. Who else could develop it according to your ideas? And which games does it remind you of? Would it work and interest people? I believe so let us all know your opinion. And ultimately I greet all the makers and ideas of the studios and games I mentioned in this episode. Keep working nicely and think about making more games that have one big purpose: making fun.